You just finished the Succession finale and you're pissed, confused, maybe a little bit heartbroken. Yeah, we've all been there. The writers of Succession left us hanging with an ending that was so shocking and full of unanswered questions that you probably want to throw your phone across the room. But before you do, let's channel that rage into something productive, a deep dive into this mind-blowing finale. We'll dissect every detail, celebrate every savage line, and rage about the cliffhangers that left us speechless. So click that red subscribe button first and stay with me until the end of the video. So the curtain fell on Succession's 4th season, with its finale hitting the screens on May 28, 2023. It wrapped up the series neatly, tying all loose ends and giving fans closure on major character arcs and storylines. Now, if you've been following the show, you've likely been itching to know who will take the reins at Waystar Royco, right? Well, the finale spills the beans on that, along with other burning questions. The final episode of Season 4 was quite the roller coaster ride of emotions and drama. It starts with Logan Roy grappling with his own mortality and the future of his company. But everything changes when you think you've figured it out. Logan's unexpected death midway through the season throws everything into chaos. Now, I must say that the finale doesn't pull any punches. It got deep into themes of power dynamics and family drama, leaving viewers with a lot to chew on. Fair warning, if you're planning to watch the finale, make up your mind for some major spoilers, as I'm about to discuss the finale more in detail. The series finale of Succession, titled With Open Eyes, delivered the goods. In true Roy family fashion, they tore each other apart like nobody else could. It was like watching a modern-day version of Saturn gobbling up his own children. But none of the siblings ended up taking the crown. Instead, they kept on tearing each other down until the bitter end. And when the board had to decide whether to sell Waystar to Gojo, Shiv didn't hesitate to stick the knife into her brother's back by voting yes. And guess who ends up as the American CEO of the newly merged company? Tom Wambsgans, Shiv's estranged husband, who's a nobody from Minnesota. Now, if you're thinking this all came out of left field, you might be surprised to hear that some fans saw it coming. There was this viral TikTok video with a theory that Tom would come out on top because he shares a last name with a famous baseball player, Bill Wambsgans, who pulled off an incredible unassisted triple playback in the 1920 World Series. And wouldn't you know it? In the end, Tom managed to pull off a similar feat with the Roy siblings. Crazy, right? So yeah, in this last episode, the siblings are embroiled in a heated battle over who should take the reins as CEO. It all happens at their mother's house, which turns out to be a picturesque spot in Barbados. Little did they know, Gojo CEO Lucas Matson was cooking up a scheme to betray Shiv and elevate Tom to the top spot. Meanwhile, Roman, who's been MIA for a while, is chilling at Caroline's place. Shiv and Ken are more relaxed because they're concerned for him. Their main agenda is to secure his vote to block the sale of Waystar to Gojo. Fast forward to the day of the board vote. Kendall's been busy rallying other shareholders to his side, but he faces an unexpected twist. Shiv, his own sister, defects and throws her support behind the sale. It's a move he probably should have seen coming, but hindsight's always 20/20, right? So why did Lucas Matson pick Tom as the new CEO of Waystar Royco's American division? Well, it's all about control. Matson thought Tom would be easier to manipulate than Shiv, which was quite a surprise, considering Shiv was the top choice at first. Matson's decision to switch to Tom happens when Shiv's usefulness fades due to Matson's new political connections. But the big moment came when Matson saw a political cartoon showing Shiv pulling his strings like a puppet master. It struck a nerve with Matson, leading him to look for someone more submissive and easy to handle. And who fits the bill better than Tom Wambsgans? To test Tom's loyalty, Matson bluntly expressed his desire for Tom's wife. Instead of getting angry or standing up for himself, Tom stayed calm, showing he was willing to go along with Matson's wishes. This response convinced Matson that Tom was the perfect choice, a loyal follower who wouldn't cause trouble or challenge his authority. Now, you might be wondering why Shiv voted for the deal and against Kendall taking control of Waystar Royco. When Shiv learned she was about to be replaced, she was on the verge of opposing Matson and blocking the deal. But in the end, she went with the flow and cast her vote in favor of the deal. Why this sudden change of heart? Well, Shiv knew deep down that Kendall wasn't cut out to run Waystar. He had a track record of poor decision-making and instability, which made Shiv doubt his ability to steer the company in the right direction. Plus, there was a lingering tension between Shiv and Kendall due to past conflicts. Shiv had a gut feeling that if Kendall took the reins, he wouldn't hesitate to sideline her or even kick her out of the company altogether. However, with Tom slated to become the CEO, Shiv saw an opportunity to maintain her influence within Waystar Royco. Even though she wouldn't be calling all the shots, having Tom at the helm meant Shiv could still pull some strings behind the scenes. And let's be real, Shiv wasn't about to pass up on that chance to wield power, even if it meant going against her own brother. And why did Roman throw in the towel and side with Shiv instead of sticking by Kendall? From the get-go, it was evident that Roman wasn't exactly sold on Kendall's ability to lead Waystar Royco. He's always been a bit wishy-washy, but when the time came, Roman hesitated before voting against the deal. But then Shiv stepped in and laid out her case against Kendall, and something clicked for Roman. He realized that Kendall's ship was sinking fast, and he didn't want to go down with it. So he made the tough call to withdraw his support for his older brother. Sure, Roman wanted more than the outcome of the vote. It stung, especially since it seemed like his standing at Waystar Royco was taking a hit. But deep down, he knew that sometimes you've just got to cut your losses and move on. And that's exactly what Roman did. He accepted their plan was a lost cause and decided to throw in the towel to spare Kendall from further pain. It wasn't an easy decision, but Roman knew it was the right one in the long run. Now let's break down who's still in the game at Waystar Royco after all the drama of Succession ending. First off, Tom's now calling the shots alongside Lucas Matson, so you know there will be some changes. He's already given Frank and Carl the boot, meaning their time at Waystar Royco is pretty much up. And Hugo? Tom's not too pleased with him either, so there's a good chance he's getting the axe too. But it's not all bad news. Tom's made it clear that Greg's safe, which is a relief considering all the chaos. And Shiv? She's sticking around too, according to Tom. Plus, he's planning to chat with Jerry and Carolina, so they might also be in the clear. Kendall and Roman might still have a shot at staying on board, but whether they'll take it up is in the air. Lucas Matson's plan to shake things up and bring in some fresh blood might just be coming to fruition. So while the old guard might be on their way out, the younger crew could be in for some big opportunities. Now, what does Kendall's walk to the river really symbolize? After losing the company, Kendall's seen taking this solitary stroll to the river, right? It's like this quiet, reflective moment that speaks volumes about where he's at. Now, contrary to all the speculation, Kendall doesn't kick the bucket here. But man, losing Waystar Royco, that's like losing his whole reason for existing. You see, Jesse Armstrong, the mastermind behind Succession, breaks it down for us. This moment, it's pivotal for Kendall. He's not alone either. Colin's trailing behind him, offering support if needed. But despite that, you can feel Kendall's going through another rough patch after this. That walk to the river, it's like a visual metaphor for how lost and adrift he's gonna be without the company that's been his entire world. Now, let's talk about Shiv and Tom's marriage first. Throughout Succession Season 4, it seemed like their marriage was toast, right? But in the finale, they're still together. However, that hand-holding scene, it's more of a sad acknowledgement that things ain't gonna be all sunshine and rainbows for them. Shiv's sticking around with Tom, not because she's head over heels for him, but because it's a strategic move to secure her spot at Waystar Royco. They might be married on paper, but there's no real happiness in their hearts. Now, despite not snagging the CEO title, Shiv still comes out on top. Why? Well, being Tom's wife means she's still got a major stake in the company. And let's be real, Shiv's got the brains and the cunning to wield even more power behind the scenes than Tom himself. Plus, she's got a bun in the oven, so the Roy dynasty lives on through their kid. It's like a win-win situation, ticking off Logan's box of keeping it all in the family while fulfilling Lucas and President Menken's wishes for a male CEO. Now that Succession has been concluded, it's worth pondering what the show was all about. At its core, it tried to turn the tough world of corporate power struggles into an interesting family saga, deepening the complicated issues of abuse and wealth. The show didn't hold back when it showed how rich and famous people lived. Every detail made you feel like you were seeing their luxurious world. What made Succession stand out was its use of real-life business stories to ground the drama in a familiar setting that kept viewers interested. Even though the characters on the show had flaws, fans couldn't help but feel sorry for them. And while the question of who would eventually replace Logan Roy was big, the show was also interested in the cruel climb to the top and the often empty feeling that came with it. Brian Cox, who played Logan Roy, said that the show makes you think people's wants and needs are often silly and don't know what they really want. It was all about not losing and being in charge of the Roy family. even if it meant giving up family ties and traditions. Their desire for power and payback ultimately led to their downfall, drowning out any sense of family loyalty or unity. Throughout the season, Shiv felt sidelined by her brothers, despite their promises to include her in key decisions as interim CEOs. In one episode, she even compared them to Pontius Pilate. But in the end, Shiv gets her revenge. It's a bitter victory, though. She wields enough power to destroy someone else's chances, but falls short of claiming the top spot. She strategically ensures that none of her siblings will become CEO, realizing the title will never be hers. The satisfaction of crushing someone else's ambitions outweighs any joy she might have felt in helping one of her siblings rise to power, even if it means they all lose out in the end. So there you have it all. If you have different insights, share them with us in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.